Day 9. Wow. Now, this chapter, I keep saying roller coasters, I know it, but it was definitely full of surprises, especially at the end of chapter 9. So let's talk about these different things. We definitely need our little secret chapter society agency hat on. Grab it, hold it tight, because we've got puzzles. This is a clue, I think. Now, I could be wrong, but I think it's worth writing down. His name, Dafydd. From Cardiff. 49 years ago. Yeah, interesting. So I think this is a clue. Another clue I'm concerned about, or it's on my list, big brass key. Now, why do we keep talking about, like, I get he was getting it, but it's the adjective, the big, and the color, brass. It's like he needed the big brass key when he came to the house a couple chapters ago. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And then he's got the big brass key again. And I'm like, if it was a key, just a normal key, we wouldn't keep focusing on big and brass. So those are my two things. Cardiff has popped up again, and the big brass key. Now, I thought it was interesting the narrator did this again. He told us, he warned us that Dafydd was going to incinerate, burn all the things. I was hoping, again, I know I was the first one to say, I think he's evil. Now, the narrator has also told us that he's not evil per se. He just kind of happens to have turned evil because he says no human is actually born evil. But here is the thing. I really was hoping he wasn't going to burn it. I was hoping Juniper was going to be able to save it all before she found the bag yesterday in the video. She found in yesterday's chapter too. She found the bag. She knew it was Santa's sack. So I thought she'd figure it out, but turns out she didn't quite figure it out fast enough. It's okay. She saved some of it. Except it looks like she might be trapped, but I don't think so. Here's why I don't think so. Nobody saw the reindeer yet. There's the hole in the roof of the lorry, of the truck, but she is in the truck with the big black boots that seem to be able to fit her because they're not falling off. They're not talking about her clumping around or anything. So they fit her. You know how those boots shrunk to Nico when he put them on? Not those specific boots, but other boots. So I think that happened. But, she's just wrapped up and they can't see her because she's got her scarf on. And so they have no idea it's her. Though Mr. Carnegie might remember, because when she was at the door with Duchess, she did have her green scarf on. So he might figure this out at some point. So that's another thing to put in the puzzle list. But I think the reindeer is up there. And I think she has an escape plan, even though it's not showing in that chapter. Okay, so that was another thing. Again, back to they weren't born mean. So, this not born mean thing was really important. He wasn't born to be a bad person. He just became a bad person because he misinterpreted the gift that Cabby, what's his name? Where is that? Cabby. Yeah, Cabby got for Christmas. He's misunderstood that, and I think this is how I think the chain of thoughts went. He thinks that Santa sent Cabby the skates, or gave the skates to Cabby for Christmas, knowing very well that he would fall and break something some part of his body while ice skating. It's a common thing that happens to people often, but he thinks somehow that it was intended to then receive the gift he wanted. I bet you anything he did receive a Santa gift, and it was something that maybe he didn't know he wanted, kind of like Juniper's dad getting that book for Christmas full of plants that he didn't know he was going to fall in love with. Like, he didn't know he loved plants, but Santa knew. So I'm betting there was an actual gift. He just wanted this thing. He had this deep desire for this one thing, and that ruled him as a 9-year-old, probably even as an 8-year-old, and he didn't consider anything else because he was consumed, overtaken by this one dream. Now, that leads us on to the subconscious, because the subconscious is a very tricky thing. The subconscious, let's go, okay, one page 133. Now that his dream was dead, though no one's fault but his own, Dafydd's subconscious decided that he might as well just do as he pleased and get what he could, which eventually led him to this dark mischief of collecting goodwill donations to be incinerated in the dead of night. This led to a lot of things, but that main thing right there that it says, he decided that he will do as he pleased, and he continues to do that. And of course, the mayor is dangling this carrot over his head about a possible promotion. I wonder if he'll actually get a promotion, or if that's just something that he's saying because he knows that he'll get him to do this. Like, sometimes people lie to each other to get them to do something, even though they have no intention of following through on that promise. So I'm wondering, I mean, he just did it with Juniper and Duchess the other day in the last chapter, which was, I guess, earlier in the day. So I'm wondering, that's a question I have. Okay, now this had to be an insane sight. We go to page 144. Everyone on the platform took a step back because there was a girl in a red coat, green scarf, and high black boots stuffing the last of the donation bags into a sack that should not have been able to fit more than one of those bags. Yet somehow they kept going in. Now, this time, so that my connection doesn't get cut off by the agency, I've got my 2 questions ready for you, and I won't blather on about them. So the first one, where is Skara, and how does Skara help with this situation? She's in the back of the truck, filling the bag. Or does she jump in the bag like I think she should do? Anyways, doesn't matter. Wait, why isn't she pulled a letter out of the bag? They have to be, oh wait, red letter day hasn't happened yet. Maybe that's why. Okay, on to question number 2. So question number 2, the big brass key. What do you think is going to be the story of this big brass key? Is it going to be important, or is it going to be just a little misdirection, a red herring? What are your thoughts? I can't wait to read your ideas on my 2 questions. And I will see you all tomorrow.